Imagine this. The city is burning, cannon fire shakes the ground, and smoke fills the sky. Amid the chaos, soldiers are retreating, terrified, wounded, defeated. But one woman, just one, steps forward. Her face is covered in soot, her hands trembling not from fear, but fury. She seizes a cannon, loads it, lights the fuse, and fires right at the advancing enemy. That moment would make her a legend. Her name was Agustina de Aragón, and she became the Spanish Joan of Arc, the woman who defied Napoleon's army and inspired an entire nation to rise. Agustina wasn't born into power or wealth. She came from Zaragoza in Spain and grew up like any ordinary girl of her time, until history demanded something extraordinary of her. When Napoleon's forces invaded Spain in 1808, most people believed the French army was unstoppable. They had conquered half of Europe already. But in Zaragoza, something different was brewing, a spirit of resistance that would come to define Spain's struggle for freedom. When the siege of Zaragoza began, Agustina was there, not as a soldier, but as a civilian, bringing food and water to the defenders. The French cannons were pounding the city day and night, tearing through walls and streets. People were dying everywhere. Amid this chaos, one battery of cannons near the city gate fell silent. The men guarding it had been killed or wounded. The French were closing in fast. And that's when Agustina did something no one expected. She ran to the cannon, loaded it herself, and fired directly into the oncoming French troops. Imagine the sight. A lone woman, surrounded by fire and rubble, standing beside a cannon twice her size, refusing to let her city fall. That single shot became a spark, not just of gunpowder, but of rebellion. The soldiers around her, who had been ready to retreat, suddenly rallied. They picked up their weapons, and together they pushed the French back. Word of what she had done spread like wildfire. Newspapers across Spain and Europe began to write about the Maid of Zaragoza. To the Spanish, she was a symbol of courage, of resistance, of a nation that would not be crushed. And to the French, she was a living reminder that even the mightiest army could be defied by the courage of one person. But Agustina's story didn't end there. She was captured by the French shortly after that first siege. They could have executed her, but she managed to escape. And instead of hiding, she joined the Spanish guerrilla fighters. She became part of the resistance, fighting in battles and helping organize local forces that would harass and weaken the French occupation. For years, she continued to serve, risking her life for her country. What makes Agustina's story so powerful is not just that she fought, but that she fought when she didn't have to. She wasn't a trained soldier. She wasn't looking for glory. She was an ordinary person who did something extraordinary because she refused to stand by while her city was destroyed. Her courage became a rallying cry for thousands of others who realized that resistance wasn't hopeless. That even in the darkest moments, bravery could turn the tide. Zaragoza itself became a symbol of defiance. The siege destroyed most of the city, but it also broke the myth of French invincibility. The people who survived swore they would rebuild, and they did. And Agustina became their living legend, a reminder that courage can come from anywhere, from anyone. Later in life, she continued to serve her country, even receiving honors from the Spanish crown. But she never saw herself as a hero. When people asked her about what happened that day, she often said she simply did what anyone would have done in her place. Maybe that's what makes her story even more inspiring. Because deep down, It reminds us that heroism isn't something you're born with. It's something you choose in a single moment, when the world needs you most. Agustina de Aragón died in 1857, but her story lives on. Statues of her stand in Zaragoza and Madrid, showing her holding the cannon ramrod, the moment that defined her and inspired millions. Her legacy is still taught in Spain today, not just as history, but as a lesson in courage, patriotism, and the power of one person to make a difference. So, next time you think one person can't change anything, remember Agustina, the woman who faced an army and refused to back down. If you found her story as powerful as I did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves stories of real heroes. And if you want to keep discovering people who change the world with their courage and conviction, check out the next video. Because history is full of moments like this, waiting to be remembered.